anti-terror centres in all 12 regions. It's been announced by the Prime Minister Manuel Valls. The aim is to provide a means to stop vulnerable young people being sucked into radicalisation and jihadism. The French government believes nearly 9,300 people in France have been radicalised and are capable of violent actions.
The first centre to de-radicalise someone over a long period of time, a centre to reinsert radicals back into society, will be set up this summer. The first to be welcomed in these centres could be those who regret their chosen path, and their desire to reinsert back into society will be put to the test.
French Prime Minister Manuel Valls speaking a little earlier, announcing these anti-terror centres to be opened across France. Let's bring in for analysis Ricardo BARETZKY, who's president of the European Centre for Information Policy and Security. Ricardo, thank you very much for joining us here on France 24. Do you think these anti-terror centres will work?
I've got a lot of strong doubts about this. Using strong words such as de-radicalisation, what does it all mean? And at the same time, how do they come to these concepts? I think that we have to pay attention to these types of wordings and these type of concepts, because this is programs that is what we call quickly invented. They are not programs that is based on proper research. And I think this is a very serious situation because we as a public have to understand what is the risk of being risk in this decentralization program.
Is the real issue that you're outlining here is that this doesn't really get near the causes, the root causes of the problem?
Absolutely. We have to understand that what is radicalization and what is de-radicalization. How do we define what these two oppositions are, right? And at the same time, saying, well, we're going to make this kind of processes, we're going to put it in a program and see if they integrate. What are we ineffectively saying? Well, they're ineffectively saying that they're going to take terrorist organizations or terrorist people, which is linked into terrorism, and put them back in society and now expect them to be de-radicalized. That's a very dangerous thing to do.
But I suppose the issue that Manuel Valls is facing, and all governments in Europe are facing, is that they need to do something. They need to be seen to do something against this.
Absolutely. And the most important part is that they have to begin focused on the real facts. What is a real fact? Well, we're sitting with borders that needs to be properly protected. We're sitting with other issues in critical infrastructure that needs protection. The fact remains is that we have to focus on proper solutions and solutions as a whole, not only for Europe, because whatever Europe do influences the rest of the world. We must not forget that these results could blow over and affect like a cold the rest of the world as well. So look at the real fact and focus on the real solutions.
This, of course, comes, Ricardo, on the day that the trial begins of the so-called Verviers terror cell, named after the Belgian town where they were all arrested. How significant is this case in the wider fight against terrorism?
I think it's very significant because it shows, first of all, the importance of the justice system. And at the same time, it shows that confidence in public is being restored. But at the same time, we'll have to see where this is going to lead and how it's going to play out. I think that there's a strong probability that everything might not play out exactly like everybody expected to play out. But the important part is here, we have to build public trust and public confidence in their safety. If the public don't trust, then there's a problem.
Ricardo BARETZKY, we need to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, President of the European Centre for Information Policy and Security. Thank you, sir, very much indeed. Ricardo BARETZKY there joining us from Brussels.